the day is a motion on the need for the regulation of recreation centers in the Federal Capital Territory, standing in the name of Honorable Kabir Idris. Honorable Idris is invited to move the motion.
My honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Kabir Idris, member representing Kura, Madobi, Garumal, and Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I'm from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, we do appreciate you considering this very important motion today on the floor. It's a matter of life and death that happens to a very young child, late Khalifah Suleiman Garu. The House notes that on the 17th of January 2021, a 10-year-old child, Mr. Khalifah Suleiman, died tragically following a go-kart race incident in one of the amusement parks in Abuja, Nigeria. When a go-kart being driven by another child lost control, rammed into Khalifah Suleiman Garu go-kart. The infant threw him out of the go-kart and he landed on his head, started bleeding, and died while being rushed to the hospital. My honorable colleagues, also note that the pre-accident occurred as a result of the carelessness and non-compliance with safety regulations of go-karting, among which, before any go-karting activity, it's mandatory for the participant to wear a proper protective equipment, helmet, caps, and so on and so forth. According to the coach instructor and instructions, when in a go-kart setting, a seat belt must be fastened while seated on the go-kart. Further note that Khalifah Suleiman could have been avoided if the instructor had ensured that he was wearing a protective helmet before getting into the go-kart and that his seat belt was securely fastened. Immediately, go-kart to observe a minute silence in honor of Master Khalifah Suleiman Garu, or the Federal Ministry of Capital Territory to recognize operations of recreation centers in FCT to ensure full compliance with safety standards, regulations, and guidelines, and ensure that all defaulters face appropriate sanctions and prosecution where necessary. 3, mandate the Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance. I so submit, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My prayers are 3, to observe a minute silence for the late Khalifa, and also urge Minister of Federal Capital Territory to ensure security and operations in the recreational centers in FCT so that they can beam their searchlight in making sure, particularly in FCT, we have a department called Park and Recreation Department that actually issue those licenses to those operators. So if we can beam their searchlight on that to make sure all regulations have been and guidelines has been followed before any operations in those areas. And number 3 is mandate the Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
But throughout Nigeria, based on the negligence of operators, lack of conformity or compliance with safety regulations, and lives are just wasted. So it's a very important motion, and I believe the father of Khalifa came around to the house a couple of times. Well, yes, if I remember correctly. So I think we should amend the motion to, I don't know if there's any amendment to not just restrict this compliance or to safety regulations or in FCT, but throughout the country. You'll be surprised the number of unnecessary deaths that occur due to negligence and non-compliance with the laws and rules and regulations. Honorable Dan, do you want to? Well, do you let him? I think it's a straightforward motion.
On that same day, my children went. The operators refused even to pay them their money. They said they should just go. So this is the kind of impunity they are just infringing on people. So it's a very serious motion. That's my observation.
So those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it.